Hello, 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 everybody. This is Dr. Lil on Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. I wanted to come in to give you guys an update on the injunction. As you know, I filed a preliminary injunction against Sean Carter, Jay Z, regarding a filing he did in New Jersey. Remember that, everybody? A family court case. And it was done, the actual restraining order was done in California. And I did explain why I had to be in California because the perception was that he was trying to interfere with the California case. Why? Because when you did the modification of an order in New Jersey and looking to do things with that particular case that was closed for 7 years, then it became apparent that there could have been some problems in that regard. Nonetheless, that's why it was done. So, nonetheless, the judge decided that it wasn't at it didn't raise to the level, and that what we gave them and told them was not in her understanding that that would be a need for a restraining order. And let me explain this. When Mr. Carter and his attorney, or I guess his attorney in California, I should say, filed the information towards the California court, you'll notice and you look in the docket, it's sealed. It's sealed because they only filed limited papers. The documents that they filed in New Jersey was 183 pages. 183. And they filed 18 to the judge. So actually what happened is there was a walkback, everybody. Keeping it real with Dr. Lil, it was a walkback. So it looks like Mr. Carter has walked back what he was intended to do in New Jersey. He says he just wants sanctions. He just wants his attorney fees or something for sanctions for things that never occurred. And I'm going to address that. So at the end of the day, I don't really care about what he's doing in Jersey because it means nothing, right? I'm concerned about what's going on in California because that's where his personal jurisdiction is. And that's where we need to get our damages from. So I'm fine with the judge. Of course, we want to always have what we fight for, so forth and so on. But if it's not necessary, it's not necessary. She's saying that what he's doing in New Jersey, because he told the judge he's only modifying, he's only looking for sanctions or he's looking for fees or something to that regard. I guess it's the sanctions because you can't get money for fraud. Okay. You just can't. But at any rate, he told the judge in California that he is only trying to um, get sanctions from me in New Jersey. And based on something I didn't do anything, but something I did. They didn't say what, they just said something, right? But at any rate, according to her, looking at her information, she says, okay, that's fine. You go do what you want to do for things that you're saying that she did and that you want to get sanction her for that, blah, blah, blah. That has nothing to do with what's going on in California. And that's true. The problem was that's not what he originally filed. He originally filed a modification order, which I did submit to the California court. So Mr. Carter, basically what he did is he took the information that he originally submitted to New Jersey and he walked it back. What he submitted to New Jersey was a modification order, a venue change, and then a request for sanctions for a violation of orders of things that never occurred. That's what he did. When I filed what I filed in California, it was because of those two things, not really three. It was because of the modification and because of the changing of the venue. I don't really care about the sanctions because you're not going to get any sanctions because you can't be paid for fraud. But anyway, back in California, where he submitted not 183 page, he submitted 18 pages of what he was going to do. So he walked back. He only gave the judge information about supposedly sanctions of me violating an order. And she says, okay, if you feel like she violated the order, then that's different. That won't have no effect here. So if he decides to change that narrative when we have the hearing on November 7th, then he would have had fraudulently done what he did in California. Let me say it again. So right now, he told the California judge on record, and she put it in her response, that he is only looking for sanctions. He's looking for sanctions because I did something wrong and they don't know what, but I did something wrong and they need to get sanctioned. Well, you're not going to be paid for fraud, right? That's what I'm going to address next. But either way, he told the judge in California that he's only looking to get sanctions on me in New Jersey because I violated orders. And she's saying, okay, that does not interfere with Ms. Coley's litigation in California. If he goes back to New Jersey and do what I just said, I try to modify the order, try to do a venue in addition to the sanction things, the modifying the order and the venue would be fraud. Then the California court will be notified that what he gave to them that he said he was going to do, and based on, that's how she based her answer, then if he does something different, then that would be that he did fraud on the California court. Are y'all hearing me? Y'all better keep up with me now. So I don't want to make this complicated, but I want you to understand that what he said in New Jersey, what 183 pages, is not what he submitted to California for 18. He submitted a different, he walked completely back. This is the problem. Now, getting to the sanctions. You only can be sanctioned for something you do. So his claim that I violated an order, he don't say really what order, or he throws in all these orders from me, other parties, and all this stuff, but there's only one order that matters, right? And the one order that matters is Judge McBride. That's it. Everything else doesn't matter for two reasons. One, because there was fraud in the beginning, and two, because no violation occurred. Nobody violated nothing. And guess what? He has absolutely no proof. He thinks that just because they got away with it before, and according to his own attorney, who said he paid for the orders in the past, he said he paid good money for these orders. These statements and things that I have mentioned have been reported. So we have to wait for the process, everybody. I wish it would go faster too. But at the end of the day, that's why they're not moving on sanctions. Why all of a sudden? I've been on the internet for a long time. Why are you doing it now? I've been talking about stuff for a long time. So I don't understand. And then again, there's no gag order and no protective. A gag order says when you have a legitimate hearing or pre-hearing or whatever you want to have, they'll say what they're going to say, what you can do and not do until that hearing is done. We haven't even gotten to the hearing. The hearing is November 7th. Again, the files that are out there, even the stuff they submitted to the court under seal, are not sealed in New Jersey. They don't get sealed until 45 days later. It gets sealed around 45 days later, in this case longer, because we didn't have a hearing. Each time you seal a record, and this is a legitimate record, it has to be done at the hearing. It can't be done, it's not done ahead of time. So in our case, the record gets sealed as you go, because in some cases for this family court case, it was not sealed. Just so you know, some of them was not sealed. People were in the courtroom, blah, 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 blah. So I wanted you to know what happened from me, the horse's mouth. And as I always say, keeping it real with Dr. Lil, I'm basically here to inform you. I am not on a gag order. I'm not on a protective order. I have freedom of speech. I can talk about anything I want. The reason why I wasn't doing it in the past as much was because of my godson and because I wanted the courts to do it. But I see that working with the New Jersey courts, unfortunately, it doesn't really do due process. It doesn't do it. It didn't do it for us. There was no due process done. And because there is no respect for the court per se, not everybody, there is some concerns for the family court. The judge that was in there before, that I know who asked me for money, he did. It was bribery. And he said that Mr. Carter's attorney, Lisa Fisher, said that he was in her pocket. And these are all been reported. It's all public. At the end of the day, everybody, it's all good. It's all good because God is in control and God don't make mistakes. And let me address the information she put inside her response. Now, first thing, my persons that work with me for the California team have been having health problems. So I wasn't aware that you needed a leave for court for an ex parte. That's why I replied the way I did. If I knew that, I would have done it that way. And then I was planning to submit the defendant's complete complaint, 183 pages. But the defendant only submitted 18 under seal and asked me not to do it. And I decided not to do it. At the end of the day, what I'm saying to you is that the whole thing has problems and situations from each step. And I'm going to take you back through this again. So first, I was looking to do a preliminary injunction because of Mr. Carter's actions towards me in regard to what he said in the 183 pages. When he submitted this information to the court, for the California court, based on my injunction, he walked back. He changed it. I'm saying to you now that if he changes it and not fulfill what the judge said in California, on the reason why she made the ruling was based on what he told her, and he does something different in New Jersey on November 7th, then the California remarks and case will be considered to be fraud. So at any rate, there's a few things that will not happen. There will be no sanctions paid. There wasn't any sanctions paid before. The money was stolen from me through my house. That's what it was. And I filed a police report. That's what happened. When you take something you know to be fraud and you don't have any legal basis, whether you paid for the orders or not, those allegations, even if you didn't pay for it, unless you did, those allegations are on appeal of the Third Circuit, because the judges who said they did what they did was supposed to be lawful, you need to prove it now. So at the end of the day, the fight's not over, nothing's over. It's all good. And all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. That's a fact, everybody. So I'm not moved by anything and all the stuff that's happening. One of the reports that came out said something about paternity. Again, it's not about paternity. This is a fraud case about somebody, and also someone trying to cover up stuff based on someone's age being a minor. That's what these two major things about this case is: fraud in the court and a minor child. It is not about paternity. Paternity is the underlying issue on why you're running, why you're avoiding things.